Netflix just broke their own records with K-pop Demon Hunters now being the most watched film of all time. But here's what no one's talking about. This movie isn't just entertainment. It's actually a masterclass in mindset. But don't worry, there's going to be absolutely no spoilers here today. What we're going to be diving into is the 3 universal lessons that K-pop Demon Hunters can teach us about performing under pressure whilst staying true to ourselves. Because we're all fighting battles while the world watches. And this film shows us exactly how to do it without losing ourselves in the process. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Daniel James, a mindset and high performance coach whose mission is simple. I want to give you the information that I wish I'd had sooner so that it can help you wherever you're at on your journey. So the main message that I want you to get from today is that true strength isn't about defeating external demons, just like in the K-pop Demon Hunters. It's about conquering the inner demons that are holding you back from your potential. And I want to talk about how success isn't just about performing for the crowds. It's about having the courage to fight your battles while staying true to who you are. Because ultimately, the biggest battles are fought within ourselves. And you know this to be true. Every single one of us is walking around with our own battlefields. And when I'm working with clients, I often say, si vis pacem, para bellum. If you want peace, you have to prepare for war. And if you want peace in your life, you're going to have to go to war with yourself. I've spoken about this in numerous previous episodes. So let's dive in. The first lesson is about balancing who you are publicly versus who you are privately. Now, in K-pop Demon Hunters, the girls are in a girl band, and they're essentially living double lives. They are performers, and then they're demon hunters. And they've got the pressures to be perfect on stage versus the messy reality of what's going on behind the scenes. And that's often how we are in life as well. We often have to go out into the world. Again, the world is a stage. We are performing. We are putting on this mask and we're pretending that everything's great. When actually, when we come out of this world show and we're into our own lives, we take that mask off and the behind the scenes reality can be very, very different. Because we've got all these pressures. Yes, we've got this social media that's putting pressure on us, but then we also have the pressure that we put on ourselves due to social media. We've got this persona that we put out there, pretending that everything's okay. We then have this professional mask. We then have family expectations. We have all of these things that are constantly causing us more pressure and more stress. But your authentic self is your true superpower. It's not a weakness. The amount of times that I've stepped out into a place where I thought that being vulnerable was going to have me perceived, especially in the mindset and high performance space, as weak and maybe not knowing what I was talking about. When actually, when I shared this vulnerability and I shared my own personal stories, that's actually the times that the people came up to me afterwards and were like, wow, I really resonated with that, especially students. Whenever I'm going to schools, colleges, universities, whenever I'm sharing the real, raw, honest truth of my story, that's when I get the most interaction. Now, sometimes when I'm going into big corporate places, that's not the time or place to necessarily share my story and go into that much detail. But as much as I can, I am my true, authentic self, because I never want somebody to say to me, wow, you're not what I expected. And if someone sees me on the street, I want to be congruent. So as much as I can, I don't wear this mask. I don't try and perform. Yes, there's a time and a place for it. But I encourage you as much as you can you start to be congruent with, again, that true authentic version of you, rather than just wearing this mask 24/7. Because of this whole thing about feeling the pressure to be perfect publicly all the time. But it's not realistic. You want to be perfectly imperfect, because that's what we all are. So the more that you can start to be authentic and step out as this true, authentic version of you, it means you don't have to pretend. You don't have to walk around that really heavy mask. Lesson 2. We are stronger together than individually. There's massive strength in community. So the 3 girls in the movie are Rumi, Maria, and Zoe. And each of them have their own unique strengths, but they need each other. Because you can't fight these demons, both internally and externally, alone. We can try, but it's hard. Like all these external battles, so many people are going through the same thing. The amount of clients that I talk to, and they'll share a story and they're like, I think I'm the only one. I feel silly. I feel embarrassed. I feel ashamed. And I say, well, I've gone through that. And all these other clients have gone through that too. And the pressure to just go, it just gets washed off them like, what? Because they think they're the only ones. And because we don't talk about this stuff, because we don't normalize it, we think we're the only ones. But actually, when we start to realize that as a team with the people around us, because people in your life want to help you, the more that you lean on other people in that community, you can then fight these demons, both internal and external, a lot better, a lot more effectively. Because different personalities complement each other. So maybe someone in your circle isn't just like you. Well, okay, you don't want people to be just like you. Sometimes you want people to be a little bit more empathetic or, again, be a little bit more harsh and to the point. Leverage that community. Leverage it. You've got work teams, friend groups, family support systems. And again, maybe you don't have all of them, but there are places and groups that you can go to start to create that community. Because maybe you don't have a good working environment. Maybe you don't have that bigger group of friends, or maybe your family environment isn't that great. Okay. But there is things that you can do. Don't allow that little voice inside your head to convince you that all is lost. It's not. Because your weakness might actually be somebody else's strength. And that one thing that you're struggling with might be something that somebody else has already conquered and overcame, and they can help you, they can support you, and more importantly, they can hold space for you. Final lesson number 3. It's about purpose beyond performance and having that growth mindset and using your talents for something bigger than yourself. Now, in this movie, the girls aren't just performing for fame. They're doing it to protect others. And having a purpose beyond this personal gain transforms pressure into motivation. It transforms pressure into motivation. Maybe you're doing it for your kids. Maybe you're doing it for other family members, friends, whatever it is. But can we look beyond the personal gain from whatever it is we're trying to achieve? Because that then allows us to get motivated. It G's us up. And we spoke about this before. Motivation gets you started, but then that's where discipline kicks in. And discipline is doing the things you know you need to do when you don't feel like doing it. And the skills you've developed from one thing can serve a greater cause. So, for example, using your career skills for volunteering, or maybe mentoring others. And I spoke about this the other day. Someone said to me about mentoring and said, well, I've got nothing to offer. Everyone has something to offer. Everyone has something to offer. You have gone through something really unique, and your perspective or the things that you've learned can help other people. Like your mentoring other people can massively help. It can have a massive impact on your community. And Tony Robbins said something to me that stuck with me. Years ago I heard this. I can't remember where I heard it from him. But he said, when you're feeling useless, get useful. Because for me, I truly believe that growth happens when you serve something larger than yourself. Now, I'm not saying that you've got to go and find this massive thing, but have a bigger purpose. Look at the bigger picture. Look at the reason why you're doing what you're doing on that journey. Because when you're truly authentic, and you have a good community, and you find this purpose, that is when you can be truly resilient under any pressure. So I want to leave you with what I call the Demon Hunter Challenge. So this week, can you identify one area where you're living this double life, where you're hiding that true version of yourself? And can you share something, this is number 2, can you share something authentic with somebody that you trust? Share something authentic with somebody that you trust. And number 3, can you ask yourself, who in my community has strengths that complement my weaknesses And how can I use my talents to help others, not just advance myself? And what would I do if I weren't afraid of being judged? I hope you've taken value from today's episode. If you have, don't forget to like and share it with a friend. Until next time, take it easy.